Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait and Coffee. It is Tuesday. What is it? September 9th. Man, the year has gone by so stinking fast, and it seems like every week just goes by faster and faster and faster. So, if you can hear me in the chat, give me a 2 before in the chat, and we will start here in just a second because I know it lags just a little bit. So, whoever is here, give me a 2 before in the chat. We'll start this joker up. Today's Tuesday, September 9th. And don't forget, Chantel, good morning. Glad to have you in here. I did have a little bit of problem with Facebook. It every so often, Facebook will disconnect from StreamYard, and you have to reconnect it. And I don't know exactly how to do it. Shelly's done it before, so I got Shelly. I was like, we were going to do it. We were going to do it Friday after the show, and I forgot to do it. And then I came to set the live up last night late, and apparently Shelly was in bed, and I was like, just forget it. And she called me this morning. I was busy doing something else, so we are not on Facebook this morning. So forgive me that we're not on there. So Greg Skeens, good morning. Rose, good morning. Michael Osborne, good morning. And Bill is here. Good morning, Bill. So, hey, I tell you what, it was cool this morning when I got up. It was, I got up, looked at the thermostat. On the thermostat in the house, it's got an outside sensor on it. It tells you what it is. That outside sensor said it was 46 degrees. So, it's getting down cool at night. Right now, I pulled it up on my phone. It says it's 58 outside. So, but yeah, we are not on Facebook this morning. We will have that fixed today. So hopefully nobody's mad about that. Or you can just come over here on YouTube and catch it. So today we're going to talk about something. I store a lot of food in Mylar. We store a lot of staples, rice, beans, wheat, that kind of stuff. We also store a lot of freeze-dried food in Mylar bags. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Mylar bags, that kind of stuff, how to store it, how to make sure, especially on grains and stuff like that, how you don't get bugs in there and how to keep bugs out. So that's going to be the topic after we cover a few other things. What did everybody get done this weekend? I'll be interested. I got a few things done, but nothing major. To be honest with you, I was kind of lazy on Saturday. And then Sunday we had church, and then everybody came over for Lincoln's birthday. So we kind of had to get everything ready for that. So Sunday was kind of a wash, but we did a few things, nothing major. But I tell you what, I've got some projects I have to finish up. But what did everybody get accomplished this week or this weekend since I talked to y'all last on Friday? And Rose said at 6 a.m. we're 54 in central Illinois or Indiana. Bill, I got a new electric fence charger this weekend. It's a Cyclops 9 joules and stored 8 joules output. Bill, how do you like that Cyclops? I have got to get a new charger. I've been using those Patriots that you can get at Stockdale's here in town. Not a huge fan of those things. And I started looking. They were doing good, but then the sheep started to seem to get out, especially if it had, any drop in power on it. And I started looking, and it's only a 1.2 joule. Is what it is. And I'm like, I've got to have something better than that because like I've talked about the neighbor's place, I've got to put up a third strand of hot wire on it because they were just, they walked right through it. And I'm like, this sucks. So I was looking at the Gallagher's, and then I talked to somebody that knows a decent amount about fence chargers, and they're like, man, I've heard bad stuff about the Gallagher's. They're not as good as they used to be. And I'd looked at the Cyclops. So, Bill, what do you think about the Cyclops? It's down to, a Cyclops or a Gallagher is what I'm looking at. And I don't really know what I want to do. both of them are not waterproof. So I'm going to take a look and see, because I'm probably what I want to do is take a Pelican case and put it in there to keep it out of the rain and everything, especially at the neighbor's place, because I've got down at my gate, I've got a plug down at the gate, 110 volts, so I can run it and just run a cord across the driveway, hook the fence up, and then bang, you're in there. So I don't know. I'm looking between a Cyclops and a Gallagher, so I don't know which one I want to do yet. Camo Dad, good morning to you. Glad to have you in. And then let's see, Bill. The price on Amazon is really reasonable. Only $160 with a $15 coupon. Man, that's a heck of a deal then, because the Gallaghers I was looking at, heck, let me see. The Gallaghers I was looking at are like $400 or $500. Let me see. Because, yeah, I think the one I was looking at was the M800. Yeah, the M800, it's a 8 joule is what an 8 joule stored. And it's $400. So, let me see. Bill says, Gallagher has a lot of issues with burning out when they short out. All right. We might go with the Cyclops then. Hey, Bill, what is the model number on that Cyclops, please? Michael Osborne, goat smooth, pig pen reinforced, brush pile staged for burning. Hunted early archery this evening, so no luck. Church, then wife's grandpa passed away this Sunday, so I had to travel with her. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry to hear that. It's always horrible when you've got a family member that passes away. Sorry to hear that. We'll be thinking about you. John, good morning to you. And Bill, let me see. The Cyclops is weatherproof and tri-power capacity, solar battery, and AC power. Give me, yes, I want to know the model number on that thing, Bill, because I am going to write that down, and we're going to look at that when I get off here. So, but yeah. So another thing we're really going to do when I do that fence, I'm going to drive probably 3 super good ground rods and make that thing grounded out super good, and just really shock the piss out of the sheep when they do it. All right, let's see. XSD-A7 plus 40. All right. Bill, I am going to check that joker out as soon as we get off here. Does anybody else on here have a Cyclops? If you got a Cyclops, like it, or if you got a Gallagher, tell me if you've had issues with it. I would like to know about that. There's local prepper. He showed up. What's up, man? We're getting ready to start talking about Mylar bags here in a little while. So, like I was saying, I mean, I store a bunch of stuff in Mylar bags. That's my mainstay and my gold standard for a lot of the food storage we do. So, but guys, don't forget, October 25th, we've got Combat Midwife coming in for her midwife and birthing class. That's going to be here in Bowling Green. Excited about that. I'm excited to learn some of the stuff that she's going to teach. It seems like an awesome class. It's going to be a fun class. Also, probably the most exciting, the one I'm most excited about is going to be the land nav class, because we've got Mike Atkins. Mike Atkins used to be a Green Beret, retired Green Beret, is a land nav guru, and he's going to come down and teach the land nav class, the 2-day class. That's November 8th and 9th. That's over at Barren River Lake State Park. He set the class up, and he's taught this a bunch before for people. This is the first time he's going to come down here and teach it for us. And essentially the first day is going to be classroom stuff, how to leave, how to read your map, how to use your compass, how to do all that kind of stuff, how to plot your route, and all classroom stuff. Learning, I mean, in a whole day, you ought to be able to learn quite a bit of stuff about that. And then Sunday is actually going to be out in the field running the course that he's setting up. So it's going to be a fun weekend. And then, of course, Brian and Susan from S&B Homestead Radio are going to be up here. They're going to set up communications for everybody. So everybody's going to have a Baofeng handheld. Brian and Susan will be back at the shelter with we've got a whole picnic shelter rented out, ready to go just for us. They're going to set up a mobile radio to where we can get a hold of them if we need something. Hopefully we won't need anything for an emergency. Hopefully nobody will get lost, and that is going to be a good time. So let's see what LP said. Mylar chat equals prepper pillow talk. Yeah. Hey, I guess if you fill one of the Mylar bags up and sealed it, didn't fill it all the way, it'd be a nice little pillow. Let me see. Bill says about the charger. This charger will run 6.3 miles or 200 acres. I'm going to check that joker out. It sounds like a pretty stinking good charger, and especially for the price, for sure. So, also, last class that we've got scheduled right now, we're looking December 6th. Leslie with the School of Earth and All is going to come up, and she is going to be doing a beyond, she's calling it Beyond the Basics Herbalism. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's see. Let me see. Yes, Beyond the Basics Herbalism Workshop. It's going to be pretty cool. What some of the stuff that she's going to talk about: discover your body constitution, explore herbal energetics, match the herbs with people, create effective formulas, and refine your medicine making techniques. So that's going to be a pretty cool class. That's December 6th, one-day workshop. It's going to be a good time on doing that. I love when Leslie comes up. I always learn something from her, and it's always a good time to get to hang out with her for sure. And let's see what Camo Dad. Mine's a 15-acre fencer I got from TSC. Yeah, the TSC brand I've got one of their solar ones, and it never really did put out too much. I was really, really super disappointed in it, but I've still got it sitting there, and I just want to. I'm tired of buying cheaper chargers and spending, $120 here, $120 there, and one of them craps out, and it's like I'm going to go ahead and do the buy once, cry once thing, and have one that I can move around to different places and go with it, and just cough up the money once and be done with it. So, also, guys, pre-programmed radios with a consultation. We've got those radios in stock. We've got a couple of handhelds back here. Then we've got our base station radios. They're sitting on the shelf over here. I'm not going to grab them. But we've got pre-programmed radios, handhelds, and base stations ready to go. We'll program those jokers for your location. And then also after you get the radio, we're working with Brian and Susan at S&B Homestead Radio. These radios come with a consultation. So you get a 30-minute consultation with Brian and Susan after you get your radio. They're going to go over basic functions, how to use those radios, questions about it. Brian and Susan are a wealth of knowledge on it. They're like, yeah, we'd be more than happy to do the consultations for you. And I'm like, that's amazing. I've got to get them up here, and I got to talk to them. Hopefully this week we're going to figure on a good time to plan a radio class for them to come up and do a comms class for us. I'm excited about that. We'll get them up here. I know they're hopping and jumping to get up here again. They love coming up and teaching classes like that. So medical kits, medical supplies, all your first aid kits, stuff sitting behind here. If you need any of those, grab them. Everything is pretty much in stock. I think the only things we don't have in stock right now are red eye facts. Red eye facts seem to go quick, and it's like I can't keep those jokers in, so I've got to order some more of those. But if you want a red eye fac, it only take a few extra days to get one of those jokers in. So go check out the website for that, KentuckySustainableLiving.com, for your first aid kits and your radios. So, Commode Bear, good morning to you. Shalom. And then Camo Dad, yep, get a good one. Mine doesn't move. Mine doesn't move, but it'll bite. Yeah, Camo Dad, that's the thing. Like, we've got it set up. I've got it set up to where we can move it around, because if we're bouncing over at the neighbor's place, I want to take it over there to run it on that. And then when we come back over here, I've got one paddock set up that it's all the outside of it is all electric. It's essentially down in the pond area where we got a shooting range and that kind of stuff. So I've got net fence up over there. So we kind of need to move back and forth. So it's kind of a pain in the butt somewhat. And let me see real quick. All right. My wife sent me a text message. Apparently she's running to Sam's, and I'm like, I'm out of liquid IV. So I was like, can you pick me up some liquid IV? So, Lynn Dudley, good morning to you. Lynn, we are talking about, we've hit all kinds of stuff this morning. We've hit, all right. Lynn, we've hit all kinds of stuff. We've hit all the workshops we've got going on. We've hit fence chargers. I'm looking at getting a new fence charger. The main topic today, we're going to hit and talk about some Mylar bags. So we'll get that here in just a few minutes. Bird Lady Speaks, good morning. Glad to have you in here. I don't know, Bird Lady Speaks, have you been in here before? I do not remember seeing you. But if you have been, thank you, and thanks for coming back. So guys, does anybody else want to tell us what they did this weekend before we start getting into the Mylar bags? All right, let me boot this thing back up because I typed out some notes. All right, one of the biggest things when you look at Mylar bags storing your grains and stuff like that are bugs. It does not matter how clean a grain you get, anything like that. There's a possibility that there could be some small bugs in there, that there could be the larvae in there, the eggs and all that stuff, and everything. You've got, they don't come from bugs crawling into the food. It's bugs that are already, the eggs that are already in the food when you buy it. So some of the stuff like your grains and beans naturally carry. Bird Lady Speaks, I'm usually in the bushes. Hey, that's fine. As long as you're here, I appreciate you being here. Your grains and your beans naturally carry some small insect eggs. Most of those are going to be your weevils, your moss and beetles. So you've got to watch out for that. The big thing is if you get those, if you take the moisture out and if you take the oxygen out, those eggs are never going to hatch and you're never going to have a problem with that. So the thing is, starve them of oxygen, keep the food dry, control the temperature. And then that way you're not going to have a good environment for those things to grow. Let me see, Bird Lady. I have a huge problem with pantry bugs. Bird Lady, we are going to try to help you with some of that. We're talking about storing, our foods in Mylar and doing that. And essentially your core principles on your long-term storage, whether it's in Mylar or whether it's in number 10 cans, any of your food storage, your core principles on that are cool, dark, dry. So the temperature is one of the biggest things. And especially you can see it. There's MRE charts that your MREs, there's charts you can pull up online, and that's one of the best things that you can look at. Is as the temperature goes up, your shelf life goes down. So the cooler you can keep stuff, most people say your ideal temperature is under 70. So 70 to 50, somewhere right in there. Yes, you can get down below 50, but then you're getting into kind of refrigeration weather. But like my basement, we store most everything down in the basement as far as long-term stuff. My basement is typically about 65 degrees, something like that. I've got a thermometer in the other room, but it's about 65 degrees down here most of the time. So it's a great temperature to store stuff. Just remember, the lower the temperature, the longer the storage is going to be. Low oxygen. Your bugs can't live without oxygen. Oxygen is going to, quote, oxidize your food. So you want to take as much oxygen out of the storage container that you're going to put it in when you're storing that. Moisture. You don't want a bunch of moisture in the food, especially your freeze-dried food. Freeze-dried food, moisture is a bigger concern than with your grains. So, and I've talked to some guys about that, and I'll tell you some hints on the O2 absorbers here in just a little bit. But yeah, you don't want your moisture in there. Moisture is equals mold, and then your bug paradise. So your grains, most of the time your grains should be 10% moisture content or less before you seal those things up. So most of the time when you're getting your grains, they're already going to be below a 10% moisture. Just make sure they're dry before you put them in the Mylar bags, because you can have mold issues, and I've seen that. Kermode Bear, diatomaceous earth. Exactly. Diatomaceous earth is something awesome to have around. So, and then also your physical barriers. So, Mylar is going to be airtight, waterproof, and it's not going to let light in. So you've got all those barriers. Oxygen is one of the number one things that's going to kill your food. Any kind of moisture is going to kill your food, and then is going to degrade the food. So with Mylar bags, I personally think Mylar bags are the easiest thing to store your food in, as opposed to anything else. I use a variety of different stuff, but the main bulk of everything is Mylar bags. So the gold standard for me. Russell Moody, good morning. Glad to have you up here. And then Bird Lady, I have diatomaceous earth for chickens and dogs. Time to bring it inside. Yes, just make sure that it's food grade DE. So just check that and make sure it's that. So, all right, Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers are pretty much that, and number 10 cans with oxygen absorbers. Those are the two gold standards. Most people, most normal people don't have a way to seal number 10 cans. I don't have a way to seal number 10 cans. I don't know how much the sealers are for number 10 cans. I've seen them before when you would go to what is it? The Mormon canneries. When you go to the Mormon canneries, they used to have it in number 10 sealers, but then Obama screwed all that up for everybody and won't let them do that anymore. So they don't have you can't have canning parties anymore at those places. But Mylar bags, get most of those are like a 5 to 7 mil thickness. The thicker, the better on it, in my opinion. I think most of mine are a 6 mil bag. I get all mine from, it's Discount Mylar Bags. And let me pull, I'm pretty sure that's the website. Let me pull it up. Yes, it's discountmylarbags.com. I've got no affiliate with them, anything. I've just I've been using them since I started in, I don't know, 20 something years ago. They're actually based down in Tennessee. I think it's down. Oh crap! I want to say he used to be in Hendersonville, but then he moved. I think he's down around Murfreesboro or something like that in Tennessee. Super good guy. And but your Mylar bags. So I get most of the time mine are a 7 mil Mylar bag, and then and on their website they've got if you're going to buy the gallon bags, it's got it sent up on how many cc O2 absorbers you've got. And so look at it. He's got, and let me pull it up again. Yeah, I mean, he's got specials, and it'll tell you he's got everything you need for all that as far as what size Mylar bags you need and what size oxygen absorbers you need. So, you know, that's the big thing with the Mylar bags. That's going to be your longest term solution on everything. You know, fill the 5 to 7 mil Mylar bags with the right size oxygen absorbers. And typically you're 300 to 500 cc's per gallon of food. So that's kind of a rule of thumb. So look at that. Shelf life, I mean, you're looking 20 to 30 years depending on what you put in there. Your rice and beans are going to last longer than 20 to 30 years. Some of your stuff like your powdered milk, it's not going to last near as long. So have a plan for doing that. A lot of people will vacuum seal stuff. Yes, vacuum sealing will work. Vacuum sealing does not take out vacuum sealing does not take out as much oxygen as a lot of people think. Mylar bags take out way more oxygen than vacuum sealing ever will. Sorry, I'm getting text messages from all kinds of stuff. All right, let me see. Let me grab this. Bill says we started vacuum sealing in canning jars. Yes, and I tell you, you can take and what I on the freeze dryer, I'll run some smaller batches of stuff in the freeze dryer, like different stuff. Like I ran a bunch of different shredded cheeses a while back, and I didn't want to fill all these Mylar bags with just cheeses. So I took my canning jars, filled each canning jar with the different types of cheeses, dropped an O2 absorber in there, put the lid on there, and man, it sucks that joker down, and it's pretty cool. It's going to store for a long time, especially if you keep it in a dark place where you've not got light shining on it, because the light will degrade those. Let me see. There's food grade that you put into grains, 1 to 2 teaspoons per pound or 1 cup per 50. Right there. That is good info. Chantel, yeah, the LDS storehouse is open to the public, and it is. I've been down there multiple times, and yes, the closest one is Hendersonville. That's the one I always go to, and I've been down there many, many times, and the people have always been super nice about it. One lady asked me, she's like, "Which church do you go to?" And I was like, "I go to Woodburn Baptist Church," and she's like, "Oh, you're not LDS?" And I was like, "No," and she's like, "Well, okay, that's fine. I mean, most people think, hey, you've got to be a member of their church to go in, but you do not have to do that at all." My wife got a vacuum sealer for wide mouth jars. It's rechargeable and works great. Yes, Bill, I have seen those, and I wanted to get one. I've just never gotten one yet. Bird Lady, I've been cooking up 50-pound bags of rice and feeding it to the dogs and chicken because of pantry bugs and weevils. Once I get rid of them all, Mylar bags will be the next way to go. Thank you. You're welcome. Newman, how's it going? Glad to have you back. It's been a while since you've caught up with us. And yes, we're always going to get the report. 110 degrees out here. I am glad it is you and not me. So we're getting cool. It's like 58 here now, and I'm getting stinking super excited about that. So I love fall weather, and I'm excited. We had a ball game last night. I was like, it's going to get a little cool, once the sun goes down. So I was in a hoodie last night at the ball game and just absolutely tickled to death. Chantel is, I'm LDS. All right. Chantel, so Henderson, I know about the one in Hendersonville. Is there one in Kentucky? Is there one like in Louisville or Lexington? I know I've looked, but I don't know. And Bill, let me see. By the way, this fence charger comes with a remote control to turn it on and off. Hey, I will take that. I'm going to check the Cyclops out. Camo Dad, it's been in the 40s here in New York. Leaves are changing. Hey, we've already got leaves falling here. I mean, in the driveway, you drive up and there's some leaves falling every day. And I'm like, okay. Then, Chantel, no, there's not. Okay. I didn't know if there was or not, but yeah, I run down to the one in Hendersonville all the time. Andrew Massey, good morning from Spring Hill, Tennessee. I have to get over to the LDS. Hey, Andrew, it is worth going. One thing to remember, the LDS, they stopped at the cannery. They stopped taking cash. So you either have to do, I don't know if they take a check or not, but they will take debit cards. So just make sure that you got your debit card with you. I know some guys like to pay cash for all of it. So last time I went down there, I had cash, and I'm just like, oh, crap. But she's like, we'll take debit cards, but just have your debit card or your credit card with you because they're not taking cash anymore. And Newman, been busy out here, 72 days and a wake up, and I will be home 1 week before Thanksgiving. Awesome. Good to know. That'll be nice. 72 more days, get right in before Thanksgiving. That will be cool. Camo Dad's going to be down next week for a visit. That will work. Andrew, you're welcome. Chantel, I don't think they take checks. I couldn't remember. It's probably been a year since I've been down there to buy anything. So I couldn't remember if they took checks or not, but I do know I'm a cash guy. I always carry cash with me and buy a lot of stuff in cash. I do know that they do not take cash anymore. So make sure you got your debit card with you. All right. One of the things, a lot of people will freeze the food for like 72 hours. They'll put it in a freezer. And then let it freeze for like 72 hours to kill any of the bugs or eggs or anything like that. To be honest with you, I have never done that. So, but if you're going to do that, put it in the freezer, let it set for 72 hours to kill all the bugs and the insects in there, and then bring it out and let it get to room temperature. Because if you take it straight from the freezer and put it in your Mylar bags, you're just going to make condensation and all your stuff's going to ruin. I have never done that. Honestly, when we're doing bunches of it, I mean, we're talking 400 to 500 pounds of wheat and stuff like that we'll put up at a time. So I've never done it. People are like, well, you're going to have bugs in your food when you open it up and all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay. And people kept going. I was like, we're going to open some of this stuff that we've had sealed up for 5 to 10 years and see what's going on. And I've opened several test bags of some smaller, like 1 gallon things. Not a problem. I will open up the wheat, go through it and look, and there are no bugs. There are nothing is alive in there hatching. Nothing has been out of there eating all the wheat and stuff like that. So I don't freeze anything. My whole opinion on it is, if you're taking most of the oxygen out of the Mylar bag, the eggs don't have enough oxygen to hatch. So that's the thing. It doesn't matter, you know, if you put me, or if we put somebody else in a big enough Mylar bag and seal it up and take all the oxygen away, they're going to die. Plain and simple. You're going to die pretty quick. You know, you're not going to have any oxygen. You're not going to have any way to breathe. So you're going to die, period. So I don't freeze anything. And I will tell you this, there are bugs and all kinds of stuff. I had a bag that we just sealed it up. Or really, I buy most of my Mylar bags have a zip top on them, like a Ziploc bag, and we'll Ziploc those things, then we'll seal the top of it. So this bag just slipped my mind. We put a bunch of wheat in there, and I just zip topped it, didn't put an O2 absorber or anything like that, and it set for quite a while. And I came down, was moving some stuff, and I opened that bag up, and there were been weevils in there, and you could just see them just running, just all in that bag. So I took it outside, way outside, away from the house, and opened it back up and poured some of it out. But there were weevils all in there, and I'm like, yeah, if I would have put an O2 absorber in there and sealed it up like I should have, it would have killed all those eggs in there, and it wouldn't have been happening. So yes, there are bugs in there. I've run tests on mine and opened stuff up that we've had, and it's been perfectly fine without without freezing everything. Another one that we've touched on too is the diatomaceous earth. Sprinkle some diatomaceous earth in there. It's safe for people in small amounts. Don't go just kicking back pounds of DE or anything, but it's deadly on the bugs, and it will absolutely kill those jokers for sure. And it's great to feed your animals too. It'll kill off parasites, put them with your chickens and stuff like that. It'll do wonders for that. Let me grab these comments. Let me see. Yeah, and Camo Dad, freezing does sound like a moisture issue. Yeah, that's one of those things. That's one of those things I was saying. I just don't like freezing it. All right, let me see what Bill says. I was doing work out in the pasture, pulling old chicken coops out of the tall grass, and found a wasp nest. There's some 200 bees strong. I'm on a fire break and taking the weed burner torch to them. That is it. Death by fire. All right. And Camo Dad said he's had issues with ground bees in the barn. Yeah, I don't do a bunch of wasps and bees and stuff like that. I'm not excited about those jokers whatsoever. So, all right, kind of some stuff what not to do. Don't leave it in the original package. The original package is made to sit on the shelf for just a little bit. It's super short term. It's not airtight. Rodents will get into it, bugs will get into it, and you're just done. A lot of people will use glass jars, which are fine. The only bad thing about glass jars is breaking. I like Mylar for your long-term stuff. Don't forget your oxygen absorber. So a lot of people, like I said, I sealed that bag up. There was no oxygen absorber in it, and the eggs hatched and the insects started eating the wheat. So one of the big things, label everything that you do. That's the worst thing is if you got a Mylar bag and you're like, holy crap, I didn't label this thing. I have no idea what it is. Let's open it up and see. You open it up. Maybe you've got pork chops. Maybe you've got chicken. Maybe it's, I don't know, mashed potatoes that you freeze dried. So, or maybe it's wheat. You never know. So just make sure you label everything and also put the date that you did it. So you'll know. So you'll know exactly when you sealed that up. I put the dates on there when I sealed everything up. Most of the time, I mean, when we're doing 5-gallon bucket or 5-gallon size Mylars, we go ahead and we put them in the bucket and do that. You want something, most of the time you want something around that Mylar to keep it from getting holes poked in it if you're moving it around, anything like that. Most of the time we use 5-gallon buckets for it. Some of my smaller bags, I've got some smaller Mylar bags that we use. They're like a gallon size Mylar. We use those for like a lot of our freeze dried stuff because I don't want to pack 5 gallons of hamburger meat at once. I want those in smaller bags. So typically we'll do like a gallon size, and I typically throw those gallon size into totes. And then that way they're still protected, and I can still get in there and look at it and be like, hey, we need hamburger meat. I'm going to pull out some hamburger meat and use this. one, rotate what you're doing. Yes, I mean, you know, a lot of this stuff, your wheat, your beans, your grains and stuff like that are going to last 20, 30 years plus. So you really don't have to rotate through that too often. But some of your stuff, like your powdered milk, is not going to last near as long. I know your powdered eggs are not going to last super long. So watch out for that. Rotate that stuff out. One other thing, and let me see what Chantel, I've used a lot of Mylar, have used Food Saver, a lot of number 10 cans. Good to have variety. Yes, exactly. And apparently we got on talking about yellow jackets. So nobody's paying attention to Mylar. We're worried about yellow jackets. Go out there and take your Mylar bags and grab as many yellow jackets as you can and put them in the Mylar bags. That's one way to kill them. Throw an O2 absorber in it and let it go. So one thing on Mylar bags, I talked to Toby at Mylar bag, whatever, discount Mylar bags. I was talking to him when I got my freeze dryer. I was talking to him and I was like, hey, I want some smaller things for freeze drying food. And he goes, if you're freeze drying food, he said, you need to buy the slow acting O2 absorbers. And I was like, I didn't know they made these things. He said, yes. He said, one problem you've got to look out for. He said, it's not a problem if you're doing grains and stuff like that. He said, they're not as moisture sensitive as your freeze dried foods. So he said, what you want to do is do the slow acting oxygen absorbers. They take about 2 to 3 times as long to activate and go as your regular O2 absorbers, but they don't produce any heat. And if you've ever seen and felt an oxygen absorber, they will produce a little bit of heat. And he told me if you use a regular oxygen absorber with your freeze-dried food, it produces enough heat that it can make condensation inside your Mylar bag, and it will absolutely ruin your freeze-dried food. And I'm like, dude, I did not know that at all. I was like, that's amazing that I knew that. Because, I mean, we had never done freeze-dried food before until I got my freeze dryer. All our freeze-dried stuff I had stored before was already, was commercial pack stuff. So we use now, I just went ahead and I was like, hey, is there any problem with using the slow acting O2 absorbers with everything else? And he's like, no. He said, your bags just don't break down as fast. He's like, but it's not going to hurt anything whatsoever. So all my oxygen absorbers now are the slow acting ones. So I don't have to worry if we're doing hamburger meat, anything like that for freeze drying cheese, anything like that. All my oxygen absorbers are the slow acting ones. So check out, I've got no affiliate link, anything like that with Discount Mylar bags, but he has those and they work great. It will take a little bit longer for your stuff to break down, but it works out great because I've got no telling how much stuff that on our freeze dryer that I personally freeze dried down here. I mean, we've got pork chops, we've got ground beef, chicken. I'll tell you one of the greatest things that I freeze dry. We will take rotisserie chickens and shred those jokers and then freeze dry that, and it works amazing. That stuff comes out great. That and we freeze dried a bunch of chili. My wife was making chili last winter, and I was like, hey, make like a super massive batch, and whatever's left, I was like, I'm going to freeze dry all of it. And she's like, okay. So we freeze dried the chili, and after it was all done, I was pulling it out, packaging it up, and I took like half a solo cup full of it, and I was like, I want to rehydrate this stuff and see how it is. So I rehydrated it with hot water, stirred it up, let it sit, and ate it, and I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I absolutely love this stuff. So that's what I've got for our Mylar bags. If you've got any questions, stick it in the chat. Let me know. Hopefully I can answer that. I don't know everything about Mylar bags, but I know a whole lot. I've got tons of Mylar stuff stored up, and we use them all the time. So let's see. Remote Bear. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. All right. Everybody's talking about bees and wasps. Bill says I'm talking about wasp, bird lady. Let's see. Uh, Michael, we've had yellow jackets get into the basement ceiling through a hole in the siding, had to vacuum them up, and then get suited up and suck the whole thing with a shop vac. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, they are some of these jokers. The wasp, and we've got some yellow jackets down there. I got hammered. Uh, I was opening one of the gates down there, and I noticed I got hammered on it. And when I was opening one of the gates, and I was like, "Where'd this stupid thing come from?" So I didn't think nothing else about it. But like a couple days later, I went down to open that gate again and let the animals through. And as I was doing it, one of the sheep came up to the gate and then started jumping back. And I'm like, "What in the world?" And I saw a couple yellow jackets fly out of the bottom rail of the gate. And I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "That's where they were at." So yeah, so I took a little bit of starter fluid and shot up in there. So, but guys, that's about all I've got. I've got some stuff to do today. I've got to pack some orders and get some stuff shipped out, and then I've got to go down and meet the cabinet guys at my brother's house to talk about his kitchen. But guys, if you need anything, uh, if you need anything, go check out the workshops at the website. If you need any radios, medical kits, medical equipment, hit it up on the website. We've got everything in stock and more stuff coming in every day. And if you got any questions, shoot me an email and we can talk about it. Everything's in stock, ready to go. So if you need that, let me know. Andrew Massey, have a great day. But guys, I will be back here on Friday morning, 8 o'clock. We'll have another good topic, but I appreciate all of you being here. Y'all have a good day, and I'm off to work. See y'all Friday. Bye.